Welcome all of you for today's webinar. So today I have selected the topic which is how to monitor your crash reports and how to monitor user activities in real time. So I am Bishan Meddegoda. So we'll go ahead with the slides. Okay, guys. So you guys might wondering who's this guy. So I'm Bishan Meddegoda, as I said. So I have 5+ years of industry experience and have worked with web technologies and as well as mobile technologies. And I have my expertise on iOS developments and currently working on a few Android projects. And I worked at and consulted many local and overseas companies throughout my career. And I have helped many startups to shape their products. So I've been there for entire software life cycle in this entire years of my career. So I think I should to explain this to you guys. So let's see what Crashlytics is. So Crashlytics is a free service offered by Twitter and currently acquired by Google. So it's just a one service in a service pack called Fabric. So guys, there are so many other tools in this Fabric kit. So I thought it's worth to mention some of those because those are also free to use. So one tool is called Mapbooks. It serves like Google Maps, and it has a unlimited customizing capabilities. So you can use this, and a lot of industry best apps using those. I even was there with Mapbox teams when they developing this, so that's a cool service. And there's another service called AppSee. It's user behavior analysis. So you can get videos of sessions and heat maps, all those. And there's another service called Partner, which is a high-speed publish subscriber messaging layer. So you guys might wondering where we should use such things. So it's like if you're an Uber ride, your driver start on a trip. So without doing anything, your screens change. So it's not like just polling into the server and looking at trip status. It just both of the devices subscribe into one notification channel and go ahead with that. So those are some services I thought which will be worth to tell you guys. So those are the entire service pack available in Fabric. We're going to use today Crashlytics and answers both. So if you have free time, just go and visit those services. Okay, so I'll explain what is Crashlytic and what it's doing. So Crashlytic is a real-time report. It just not report the crash. It's report with all the useful data you can imagine. So it's a visually organized analytic tool on reported crashes. So it organizes everything for you, so you don't have to go around and play with your crash report. So it gives the stability reports. So if your clients ask how's the stability of this version of the app and those kind of things, you just have to show those reports because it just automatically creating those reports. And if you're it will notify if your app needs an investigation, like if your app crash all the time over a period, so it will notify you your app needs an investigation. So and also if there are some fatal crashes or something happening, it instantly notify you via email. So that's basically what Crashlytics do. And guys, why is crash reports important? Because when your app crashes in production, it means you basically losing your users. So it's really important. Even though you know it has crashed, you must know where it crashed and which users have crashed, what was the device, what was the OS, and also the resources available on that time when the crash happened. So all those matters in order to take a decision or to fix it. If in order to take any decision, you need all those details, and in Crashlytics they provide with all those details. and to take decisions on future support. Like as an example, you guys might supporting very old OS, and because of that, you guys might unable to use some latest libraries. So with Crashlytics, you can see what are the OSs and what are the devices users are on. So if there's something useless, you can just cut off the support and move on with the new OSs. So that's just an example. And for billing purposes, like you can just link this to if you're using Scrum or Agile processes. Actually, we're using Jira, and we have those task things going on. So you can link your Jira and all those tools you're using with this. So it's super easy. And this is actually I've asked this from myself a few times because I've used so many other the crash reporting tools also. Uh, so why we use Crashlytics or other tools? Because some tools I've used few tools like Instabug, AppC, Centric, those kind of tools earlier. But the issue was those tools. Some of tools need hosted, and that was really expensive. And even if the tools were free, it was really hard to scale and get data that I need unless I support with my own backend APIs. So they are not actually customizable. They just gave us a fixed support. So and also with those other tools, the sharing bug report was difficult, and ID integration was not existent. So now with Crashlytics, you get these IDs, and it just clicks away to install it into a project. And yeah, obviously integration was hard, and advanced visual representation in Crashlytics just none of those tools come close to Crashlytics in this area. It has really advanced visual representation. So those are the reasons, guys. We tend to use this Crashlytics over other tools. So to integrate Crashlytics, you can go to these links for iOS this and Android. You can go to this link. So if you go into one of those links, okay. So as you can see, this is the screen with install instruction. For iOS, there's 3 ways of installing Crashlytics to your project. If you're using dependency management like pod files, you can use this way. Just copy pasting this and run the pod command, and it shows all the things you have to do. It's like 3-4 steps. You have to copy paste all those things to your project. So you're good to go. It's like 10 minutes of process. And there's another way. You can manually download the library and just drag and drop it to your project and import it in your app delegates if you are using Android, iOS. So that's the second way. Or easily you can get a Mac app. So it just go with clicks, so it will automatically do all for you. If you guys using Android, you have 2 ways. You can copy this code to your build Gradle and these to your Android manifest, and you're good to go. You can import this in your main activity. Or guys, you can just use Android plugin. So basically, that's how you install Crashlytics to your project. Then I'll stop about Crashlytics from here. You guys will get to know about this more. I prepared actually a demo application. With that, I'll explain how Crashlytics installation happens and how the crash report look like. So as I promised, guys, I'm going to tell about how to monitor user activities also. To monitor user activities, actually, we need another tool called Answers that actually coming with Crashlytics. So it's like a sub-service of a Crashlytics. You can use it alone without Crashlytics, or you can use both. So even Google recommending to use it with Crashlytics. So Answer is basically Fabric's mobile analytic SDK, and it helps to enable real-time analytics that help you to understand what's happening in your app. So ultimately, it provides all the insight goals you need to monitor in your app, such like growth, retention, engagement. Those things are the ones it matters when you deploy it to production. And you can create your custom KPIs to track whatever the user activity you want. So there's no limit. You can do whatever your custom implementations with answers. And there's a specific feature called revenue reports. So with this, you can track all your financial status in your app. So you don't have to wait until your bank or financial institute inform you about your financial status. It just show you real-time data of your accounts. So how important is this tool? So earlier days, what we did was, if our client asked us to do a dashboard with those whatever he want to look get an idea about, we implemented our own dashboards, which was really time consuming, and it's really hard to implement also, because we have to create our own API endpoints for this dedicatedly for those things. So that was time consuming and very costly. And it wasn't that easy to monitor an event. So with this, it's super easy to monitor event. It's just 5 minutes of integration grading process. And obviously you can see real-time stats of what's going in your app, and you can see where users are. It's demographic data, so you can see if events happening. You can see on a map where it happens. So it's really cool, guys. And data like session length, retention will give you an idea about how good your app is. Session length means actually how long your users using the app. So median session length means how likely user will use your app. So if it's more, that means your app is really attractive. Users tend to use it more than other apps. And retentions means how those new users come back to your application, like within 7 days, 10 days, 30 days. So there are time periods. And retention means if you have a higher retention, it means that your app is useful and users love to use it. So those are really important. And also you can see where users spent most of their time. So you can see whether it's on a specific screen or specific feature, or throughout your app. You can get idea about all of this. So to integrate answer, same scenario. Those are the links to integrate answers to your project. So if you go here, just the same process. You have to copy paste those things, as I said. Even you're using Android, you just copy paste into your build ready and to your manifest, and import it in your main activity. So guys, if you use this Android plugin or iOS Mac app, answers will be automatically installed if you installed Crashlytics earlier. So it's convenient, so you don't have to worry about installing answers. Okay, so guys, that's how you install those things. Then to show this in practical, I've thought of creating a demo app which is called news. It just shows some dummy news. Actually, it has 3 categories of news. One is top story, and one is cover story, and one category is normal stories. So I have 3 kind of steps. So now I'll demo you guys Crashlytics and answers in practical research. So okay guys, so this is the process I went through to install Crashlytics to my app. So I grabbed some screenshots. So I click on that install via Mac app. So if you guys, that's the easiest way to do this. So I just download the application. You can see I just download it, and I double click it, and I select my project, and I select Crashlytics, and I agree to the policies. So it needs me to put this in my build phase. This is for iOS, guys, and for Android it's just 2 or 3 clicks, same scenario. So after that they want me to drag and drop in here. Then I'll get the libraries. So I did that, and here I wrote those libraries into my project, and I import it in my app delegate file. This is app delegate means in Android this import part can happen in your main activity. So they need me to build the project for once, so I did it, and then that's it. When I go to the dashboard, um, they need me to accept into those agreements, and they ask me to do a fresh install. So then everything is set up. So with this I've got Crashlytics and Answers both installed in my app. So even Android, this is the same process, just few clicks away. So guys, it's super easy. Then I'll explain you about Crashlytics. So guys, this is my code. I have actually three cells: normal story cell, and cover story cell, and those top story cell. So all those three have click events. So in Android, those are your view holders on click listeners. So in iOS, it's just this did select item method. And I have a simple three variables here. When user click on one cell, what I'm doing is in that click event, I am assigning that cell value to those things. So it's really simple, just assigning values to those and go into the inner page. In inner page, I am setting those variables into my labels and my image views. So to get a crash, since I've installed my crash reports, what I did was actually when I'm assigning that value, I actually assign a null value here. So in iOS this is nil, in Android this is null. So basically the same thing. And here I make this as optional when I'm assigning it to a label in inner page. So optional means, guys, it shouldn't be a null value. It must be it must be something in it. So since I'm sending a null value here from my click event, app got crashed. So guys, now we know what kind of crash report we want. Actually, we need a few things. We need to know where this happens, what the file this crash happens, and what's the method it happened, what is the line it happens, and what's the cause of this crash. So I got my crash report. If I go to my Fabric dashboard, wait guys, I'll explain all of this. Now let's go to Crashlytics. So I got my crash report. It's this one. Okay, so I go to all sessions. This is my crash report I got from my iPhone 6s and my the phone. So it has this. It shows what is the file it is in. It's my inner page, and what's the line? It's number 77. If you guys can remember, it's this line number 77, and method should be set data. So if you look at here, the method is set data, and it shows what was my OS version, what was my orientation, and it was jailbroke or not if you're using iOS, and how about my resources. And the important part is it shows what exactly my issue was. It says unexpectedly found null value. So guys, as you can see, it's really effective. We got all the informations we need. I'll just undo those things, otherwise I'll forget this. So as you can see, guys, we got exact report what we needed. So that's Crashlytics. So if we go in here, it will stack up all same crash reports into one, and it's really organized, and you can see how many crash free users, crash free sessions, and all those data. You can filter it out by your top builds or specific builds, and you can filter by fatal crashes and non-fatal crashes, all those things, and you can see what are the device OSs was there. So this is simple demo of Crashlytics. So guys, I hope you got the idea. To install Crashlytics, you just do few clicks as in that link, and you don't have to do any coding to get those crash reports happening. So guys, let's go back to my slide. So here To demo the user activity monitoring part, what I'm going to demo is what I want to know is I want to know what is my top category, what is my top news category. Users love to read those news, so I want to know my top category and what is the popular article in my app. So this is my basic need currently I want to monitor. So now I'm going to I have integrated answers into the application by doing that process, same process as Crashlytics. You just do that. And guys, you can create a track of your user even. This is not necessary, but you can log your user data into this. So with the crash report, you will get all those specific data. So you can extract this into Excel sheet. So I'll show you how I monitor this event. So in this select event on those cells, I have created. I actually have 3 cells. So what I did was I created this notification channel. iOS, this is notification center. You create a notification called go into details. This is in all those click events. So those click events means in Android your view holders on click listener event. So I created this notification in all 3 cells, all 3 collection view delegates. In Android, this means intent. Actually, this is the code for Android to create this one. So just local broadcast manager instance. So you create broadcast manager call, intent call, go into details. In iOS, you create this. So so this code is in my all 3 collection views, means view holder on click listeners. And in my main class, in view deployed, I have catch the action. So I have an observer which catch this event, and if it codes something, it will direct that to this method. So in Android, it's just local broadcast manager instance. You catch it, and you assigning broadcast receiver into that. So your broadcast receiver will look like this. So this is Android code for that. So this is your Android code. So inside your broadcast receiver, you can put that method here. The same method you can put it here. So that's the Android way of doing that. So once it catch the event, it will go into this method. This root method. In here, I am checking what's my news category. If you guys can remember, I am assigning categories into this int variable. In everywhere, I am assigning what's the category is. So at any given point, this news category variable will be occupied with current selected category. So in here, I will just put a simple switch case to check what's the category user clicked on. So if user clicked on category 1, it means top story. I have just pasted this code snippet. Actually, this is how I integrate answer into my project. So to get those code snippet, you can go to this dashboard, and there's a menu called events. If you go in here, you can see there are predefined events. So if you want to track user sign up, you can click on this and select what's the language you want, and just copy and paste it in wherever the trigger happens in your code. So in same manner, I've got this content view event here before I implement it to my project. So when I click on it, I got that code snippet, which is this one. So to the code snippet, I have added my variables. If news category 1, I assigned ID top story for this cover story, this normal story, and my variables are there. So that's the whole integration part for answers. It's just this code snippet. So I've used my app a few times. So here you can see my event, my KPI. If you go into KPI view, you can see there's my content view activity, which I am monitoring. So I have this event count, 12 event counts currently, and 2 event users. I have 2 phones here. So if you go inside, you can see event count, event users, average count per event, and daily user percentage, all those things. And down below, you can see my top story is my famous kind of stories in my application, which has 50% of users clicking on it. And you can see how the exact count goes. And if I wanted to see what's my popular article is, so in here you can see this Chinese investment in the United States article, which is, I'll show my app. So this is my app. So this was my main story. This is my normal story. This is my cover story. This is my normal story. So my popular article was this top story. So I just detected what's my users mostly looking at. So likewise, those are the things I set it from here. You can see I've set name, I've set the category, I've set the content ID. So because I've set 3 things, it has 3 things: category, attribute. I have this category type 1, 2, 3, and article type, and the ID. So this is all what I said. If you want more, you can set more attributes to that. So guys, that's a small event I want to do. I wanted to show how easy to use this service. So now you guys know it. Just code snippet away from you guys to using answers. If you install Crashlytics, you will get answers with it. So if you don't want Crashlytics, you want answers, you can do it as well. But I'm recommending to use both. So now you guys have an idea how easy to use these things. So I'll go walk you through a dashboard. Here you have a summary view. Okay, here you can see how many active users. If there are users, it shows this is real time. And you can see how many daily users. If you set custom KPIs, it will comes here, and how many bills and all those things. Since you have, if you have data, this will fill up and it all will make sense. I'll show you how it like to have a data populated dashboard after this. So you can see your retentions. You have 3 users came back to your app. They are not fresh users, they are old users. They came back, so it means your retention is good. It's 1,000 times higher than the last week at this time. Okay, so guys, as you can see, it will give all those valuable data representations. Once data comes in, you can get a good idea about your application. So it's about this retention. Retention means how many users come back to your application. So you can monitor your growth. You can see how many new users you got today. So I didn't get any users because this is my demo app. So you will get all those things. And KPI means whatever the things you monitoring, whatever the activities you monitoring. So to add KPIs, you can go to this event, and you have predefined KPIs. You just click on one of these and just copy the snippet into your app's triggering event. And if you want a custom event, you can just click on this custom event. You just name your event whatever you want, and you just put whatever the attributes you want, those codes limit into your application, and you will get your own dashboard for your event. It will show up here. So this is Crashlytics. I've explained this thing. So your all your crashes comes here, so you can see what are the closed crashes and everything. And here you can see a report on your bill. So this is my bill, and it was successful. So it shows this is successful. But once if you have so many crashes, and if you need investigation, this will be red color, and it shows you need investigation, and it will email you this time to time. So you need your attention for this. Engagement means how many minutes your users were inside the app. So you can see 140 minutes today users were in my app. So those are all those data, how many sessions per user, how many minutes they were inside my app. Everything is here. And you can see your audience where all the events happen. If you have a big audience, and you will get all those small animations going on here and there. You can see what are the events, and you can see how many what are your devices your users using, and what are the OSs they're using. In here I have my simulator. I run this app on my simulator, and I have iPhone there, and all of my users are in iOS 11. So this is your audience. And the revenue means that's basically a event on that answers, but they have created really nice graphic. You can see in background they have really uh, big charts and everything going on for this revenue. So if you click on one of those, you still get that small code snippet. You just have to copy paste those in your application. So you have all those ideas. You can see what are the currencies. You can set all those. You have to just copy paste this in your triggering events. Okay, so then you have this event page as I described. So guys, basically that's how Crashlytics and answers work. Uh, this is what we use currently for our apps, and there are this is really important because like 2 months before we had this launch for it. That's actually a test launch, and we did a lot of QAs and everything before launching our application. So our client actually deploy this in this very rural area where there's not like it's like a slow internet. They don't have internet, but it's not like without internet. So it's like a very inconvenient internet was there. So all our AWS services crashes on top of each other, and we got like 30 plus error reports. But our client doesn't knew we have integrated those things. So he was wondering how to track all those things, and he was asking us, okay, how we track those. There were so many issues. So we told no, we knew all those things. We'll get back to you with a new bill, and we went on those crash reports, and we fixed all the bugs, and we deploy a new version there within like 2 days. So it all because we got this convenient tool. And best of all of this is for free. There's no any premium subscriptions or anything going on. That's why I actually chose this topic, because even for enterprise level developer, or you are like a freelancer, or you are a college student, you just can use those tools. So it will affect for your reputation of your company, and for your client communication as well. So guys, that's all I have. um, well, I hope you guys got an idea how simple is this. um, it actually took me like 20 minutes to do this Crashlytics and answers both into my application. So I guess you guys will use it. Just go to get.fabric.com. So you will be able to create your own account, and just start implementing this into your application. So that's it. I'll finish the event. If you guys have any question, anything to sort out, just email me. So I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So hope you guys good luck.